Welcome back to Crystal Clear! I'm Oshrik Fox, and Mr. Universe was the episode that made us think about our own life, our own relationship with our parents, and make us go, oh yikes. With the inside of Greg's relationship with his parents now out in the open, Steven feels betrayed and neglected by his father. It's just so much. And as always, we're going to break down the episode for details and Easter eggs you may have missed. Of course, spoiler warning, if you're not caught up with Steven Universe Future, please go catch up and then come back. With all that said, let's dive in. Although it's not the iconic tank top, this episode features the first time Greg's worn a white shirt since Greg the Babysitter all the way back in season 3. Nearly 4 years. Since season 4 onwards, Greg has mainly worn a black tee with a few outfit changes here and there. And considering it's been 2 days since Growing Pains, as Steven references later in this episode, we can assume that Greg has decided to stay off Sadie and Shep's tour in favor of supporting his son. Steven addresses for the first time that he's still dealing with an identity crisis, just in a different way, which is a huge factor into his difficulty figuring out the future. He spent the course of the original series proving to everyone, even himself, that he's not his mother, but now he's not really sure who Steven Universe is, and it's a struggle to figure that out. Luckily, Greg provides him with guidance that I believe Steven will actually listen to when all of this is said and done, telling Steven that he needs to hit the road and explore the world for himself. Steven's been across the galaxy, but what about across the country? These are all things we've talked about before on this channel, in relation to the theory that Steven will pack his bags and leave Beach City as Steven Universe Future concludes. The only way for Steven to find himself is to go somewhere new. It's how almost every character in the series experienced great change. The Crystal Gems came to Earth after being on Homeworld. Lars went to space after being on Earth. Sadie pursued music and hit the road. Even Pink Diamond changed, adopting a new identity once she came to Earth. In real life, most people move for a job or college, which allows them to figure out who they really are. For Steven to gain perspective and figure out who he really is, he has to go somewhere new. But without Greg, without Connie, without the gems. Not just forever, just for a little while. And it has to be on Earth because if he goes anywhere else out in the solar system, he will just be recognized as Steven Universe. But on Earth, as evident with Business Casual, he'll always have a blank slate. This perspective also explains why Greg is always so eager to go on road trips anytime something goes wrong. I'm surprised he didn't force Spinell to go on one. This road trip sees many callbacks to series past. First off, we of course have dear old dad from House Gas make a return, which we should have saw Steven getting pissed at Greg coming, considering how House Gas concluded. Steven's in a blue puffer coat similar to the pink one he wore in the original series. Steven and Greg are eating at Pepe's Burgers, the same franchise that bought Like a Comet as a jingle and gave Greg a fortune. The way Greg cleans the windshield and waves at Steven is a callback to Winter Forecast with a similar visual gag. Trying on sunglasses reminded me of their sightseeing in Steven's dream. And Greg's refusal to use the public restroom? All too relatable. There's also a billboard for a new guac product, a nod to Guac-Cola and Drop Beat Dad, so I wonder if Marty is still thriving with his disgusting products if they're making a new one. Steven and Greg also passed by the wheat field where Paradise Escape Pod landed. Shout out to Joyride. Deciding to show Steven the origins of the universe name, Greg breaks into his parents' house, who apparently haven't been in Greg's room since the moment he ran away, considering the window was still unlocked. Greg's parents' house featured the framed photo of Steven's great aunt and uncle, aka Andy's parents, the same photo of them that used to remain at the barn and now in Lapis' art studio in Little Homeworld. The family photo of Greg and his parents show them wearing yellow, blue, and pink, a nod at the Diamond Authority. Their foreign spoon collection also has all 4 colors of the diamonds, with some spoons debatably shaped like their hairstyles, correlating to what Steven realizes at the end of the episode, Greg's similarities to Pink and their family dynamic. I appreciate how lived in and overly decorated this house feels. The Crewniverse did a great job of bringing to life the household of a family we never even properly met. It truly felt like a random home Steven stumbled into and intrudes on. Once Steven begins to discuss Greg's upbringing, we hear the return of some season 1 tunes, namely a reworked version of Dad Museum from Laser Light Cannon. This time, instead of going through a Dad Museum of a hoarded garage, Steven instead explores the Dad Museum of Greg's teenage years. The things Greg didn't want to show Steven, the era of his life where he felt more repressed than ever. And with that haircut, I can see why. Returning to the van with the origins of Mr. Universe uncovered, Greg reveals to Steven what exactly that is. A CD by musician Carrie Moonbeam, a clear parody of David Bowie and his Ziggy Stardust persona. The song Mr. Universe, written by crew member Jack Pandarvis, has vocals provided by Jermaine Clement, who's a part of the New Zealand comedy music duo Flight of the Conchords, who co-wrote the song Bowie with bandmate Brett McKenzie as a tribute to and parody of Bowie's musical style.
I took all that from the wiki.
Disappointed that his name stemmed from a song rather than one of the emotional, heartfelt stories the original series associated with Greg, Steven laments for the lack of structure provided to him growing up. Greg's intentions feel like nothing more than spite. Comparing Greg to Pink Diamond, two lives who escaped their families to adopt a persona that hinged on the existence of someone or something else, Steven flares up, pinpointing his problems on being a universe and crashing the van. Greg, instead of giving an apology, which is likely what Steven was looking for, instead gives Steven reassurance. In this moment, Greg becomes a broken record for Steven, the opposite of what Steven needs. Steven dissociates, tuning Greg out as the noise in Steven's head gets louder, driving Steven to cut Greg out of his life, symbolized with the now deleted photo of Greg's yearbook. Oh my goodness, this episode was a lot to say the least. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. How did this episode make you feel? How do you feel about Greg as a parent? Do you want to learn more about Steven's grandparents? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox signing out.